Good morning everyone. Welcome you all to the lecture video session on controlling, steps in controlling. Here we are going to discuss about the major important function of management, which is called controlling. We organize, we plan, we formulate everything, and then after doing this, the work is given to the employees. Unless otherwise the proper controlling is in place, it is not possible to expect the result out of the working. Because in a larger organization, many people are involved, and then proper controlling is the only one which is going to give the results. So the controlling, the function controlling is stated by many of the management thinkers in their own, with their own experiments that is done on people. So Henry Fayol said that control consists in verifying whether everything occurs in conformity with the plans, instructions and principles established. If I am looking for designing a vehicle, then I must be having a plan. I must be having the set of instructions to carry out the design into the production, and then the principles that are to be taken care of. If all the departments are not going to work according to the design, then the vehicle will not be the expected outcome of the design that is made. So the control exists in verifying whether everything conforms to the plan, or everything that conforms to the plans that is laid. E.F.L. Bruch stated the control in a different way. Control is checking the current performance against the predetermined standards contained in the plans in order to ensure adequate progress and satisfactory performance. In controlling process, the maintenance people are involved, planners are involved, engineer is involved. So right from the planning to the execution, all are involved, the people are involved. If the controlling is in place, it is very easy to expect the outcome of the plan in the same way that how it is planned, without much of the deviations, technically as well as to the expected level of quality. So the features of controlling functions are: controlling is a positive force, controlling is dynamic and it is a continuous process, controlling is a goal-oriented process, controlling is forward-looking process as well, controlling is universal right from the planning to the execution, controlling is based on planning, and delegation is the key of control. In a team of people where many of the people are working for a common design or the outcome, then delegation is the key to control. So when we think about this, what are the steps in controlling? Let's understand various steps. Basically, there are 4 steps which has to be understood in controlling process. First step is establishment of standards or setting of standards. The first step of the control process goes with the establishment of standards. The control standards are of 2 types. One is the quantitative standards and the second one is qualitative standards. In a company where the production, where it is a production company, then the qualitative and the quantitative standards matters a lot. The quantitative standards are production level, rejection level, labor hours, where the certain amount of quantity is involved, which are in number. So the quantitative standards are the one which can be quantified, that is in terms of number. So the rejection level, labor hours, speed of service, and the sales volume, profit margins, all these are going to be the quantitative standards. When we think about the qualitative standards, it is intangible one, but it is going to have a major reflections on the company and the working. The first thing to understand the qualitative standards are, this cannot be quantified with anything. It is the intangible one. So the employee morale, and then the brand image, company image, the goodwill that everybody has, all the stakeholders, and the industrial relations, all these comes under the qualitative standards. So both the qualitative and then the quantitative standards are very, very important, and the standards are nothing but the criteria of performance. So they serve as a benchmarks to as they specify the acceptable levels of performance. So the standards has to be established in before the planning is done, and when they are established, it is very easy to control against the actual performance against the standard of performance, standards that are established by the top management. So the second step is the measurement of actual performance. Once the standards are established by the company, then the measurement of actual performance is going to be a very critical one. The second step is to conform to the standards that are given, and that is to find out the performance of various individuals, teams, and then the departments in the background of the established standards. Whenever or wherever the performance is to be taken care of, then we must understand that the qualitative measurements and then the quantitative measurements have to be done. Quantitative measurement is applicable. It is very easy to measure because it is going to be in the number. Where the qualitative measures are to be done, it is very, very critical to understand that, which is going to be the motivation factor. And to measure, the qualitative standards are very, very difficult to measure. So the tests have to be conducted, or the surveys have to be conducted, and there could be the exit surveys, performance appraisals, and the media reports, open forums. All these are going to give some ways to understand the qualitative standards performance, the actual the measurement of the actual performance. So here the actual performance versus the measured performance is the true assessment that can be carried out. To make any measurement process very effective, three aspects are to be taken care of. One is the completion of the work. Second one is the objective, or that is to be taken care. The third one is the responsiveness. The actual performance measurement have to be taken, has to be complete in all aspects. It is not going to be only the seen effect, that is to be complete in all aspects. And the second one is the objective one. The first one, when we think of completion of any work, the actual performance, that is all the aspects of the job, should be measured, and not just the ones that are more evident. That the other part of the work has to be seen. It's like two sides of the coin. Both the sides of the coin has to be seen in order to see the completion of the work. So the objectives are the performances of the work that should be measured without any bias or the favoritism like an objective. Objective should be seen only as an objective, not in reference to anybody who is working towards the objective. Responsiveness is the management of any performance that should support the belief that the effort and then the performance is going to lead to the proper improvement. That is, the measurement of any performance should support this. So it should be in the organizational point of view, not in any one's point of view. So the third step or the fourth step, we can say that after doing the step 1, step 2, step 3, the comparison of actual performance with the standards, then the step 4 is very, very evident. We need to take the corrective measures, and we need to take the remedial actions in order to see that the problems or the impending of the progress, wherever it is reflecting, should not stop the actual work to the expected levels. So there could be the corrective actions could be in the changing of the methods, rules, strategies, procedures, or it could include the training programs to improve the betterment of the work by the people. Job can be redesigned because the actual planning, that whatever that is done may not be, the design may not be up to the mark. Replacement of the personnel, if the person is incompetitive, then the replacement of the personnel could also happen. We can hire the consultants in order to improve the work and the work to the standards. We can change the machineries and then the processes. Remedial action could identify the recurring bottlenecks at some point of time, and we can avoid them either. And we can the personnel can be made to understand the competitions, and then the top management can be made to understand the competitors in a better way, and to include the USPs to make the marketability more into the product. And looking at the raw material resources is very, very important, because we need to be sure of the standards of the input materials that are fed in order to get the right level of product design and then the right level of product outcome. And the suppliers are also going to be very, very important. So what are the essentials of the control process? Clear definition of objectives and standards, selecting the efficient control techniques, suitability of the control system, very simple, and then the simplicity of the controlling system, focusing on the key area of performance, flexibility in order to provide the controlling process to the working standards, and then it should be reasonable and practical, and the control process should be economical. It should not involve too many people, and it should not incur too much of cost to the company, and self-control Most importantly, all the complete controlling process should be acceptable to all levels of employees. With this, we are going to complete the essentials of control process and the 4 steps for the controlling process, which are very important, by setting the standards, by measuring the actual performance, by comparing it with the standards, and taking the corrective and then the remedial action. And with the essentials of controlling process, we have come to an understanding of the controlling process, and in the next video we are going to understand how to establish the control process and what are the methods of establishing the controlling process. And with this, we come to the end of this lecture video session. See you all in the next video on methods of establishing control. Thank you.